Hi, I'm Gabriel, and welcome to Bigones.nft, where we take you through some of the biggest news, reviews, and daily rankings of some of the biggest and sometimes smallest NFT collections on the Metaverse. Make sure you stay to the very end, where we'll do the Randomizer, where I'll be selecting a random NFT collection on Opensea, and I'll review them, give you my honest thoughts and opinions about the project and the team. Now, smash up that like, hit subscribe, and turn on that little notification bell to tell the guys at YouTube that you appreciate our content. Well, let's get into it. All right. Okay. So as we always do at the very beginning of this, what we're going to do, we're going to look at the markets, and we can see here that Bitcoin is at 23. All right. Just turned a little bit red then, but still obviously green here the last 7 days. Definitely a lot higher than where we were. We were sitting around the 21, 22 mark a few days ago. And yes, I haven't done a video in a few days. Been busy on a couple of other projects, but now back into it, and it's great to see that obviously the markets are doing slightly better than where we were before. And with Ethereum at 1,600, I think we were just drifting around the 1,514 the last time we did a video. Anyway, looking pretty green, a bit of a sea of green actually. I'm going to scroll down and just look at ApeCoin. ApeCoin sitting at 7.39. That's a pretty steep jump, and we can see in the last 7 days a 25% jump. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, so that's the markets, and the reason why I do this, for those who've just joined us for the first time here, is basically obviously the crypto market has a lot of correlation to the NFT market. As they sometimes say, as the crypto markets go up, NFTs go down, and vice versa. If the NFT crypto markets go down, NFT markets go up. However, the last couple of months has been kind of interesting, kind of weird, where pretty much everything has been down. But anyway, connected with that, let's look at the other device and tool I like to use, which is basically June.com, and I'll put the links of this in the description below. And this basically, let's focus on the Opensea daily volume. Of course, just the Ethereum now. As we know, they also have Solana as well, of course, Polygon. And here we can see here, now obviously here, the time zone here, the day hasn't concluded, but we can see here it's been drifting around, well, let's say 13, 15 million, 13, 17, 15, 16 million, which is daily volume. And of course, sorry, we're talking about US dollars here, as it states there in the little blue mark. But obviously we can see it's definitely lower and just kind of, I wouldn't say stagnant, but quite flat in terms of its volume or daily volume. We don't have the peaks that we've been seeing previously. And of course, by no means are we anywhere near our all-time highs in terms of Opensea's daily trading volume on the Ethereum chain. All right, but anyway, this just gives us at least an indication that for at least on using Opensea, which is the biggest NFT market in the world, we can see that the sales and the volume is on a daily basis is quite standard, hitting around, I would just pick or say 13 million as an average. Okay. All right. So moving on. Now, looking at some of the big news in terms of that I've been looking at, and of course, there's a lot of different news. We know about the Solana hacks, which is obviously very unfortunate, and Magic Eden, and all the news on that. But I'm just going to focus on a couple of these things that really stood out to me. And this is on prnewswire.co.uk. And again, I'll put these links below. And if you haven't already done it, smash up that like. Thank you very much. Okay, keep moving on. Is that the collectibles and NFT market, and I presume here, obviously, let's call this digital collectibles, an NFT market size forecast to reach 1 trillion. I'll say that again, $1 trillion US dollars, I presume, by 2032. Research update by Market Decipher. Again, I'll put this in the thing. Now, I'm just going to look at it at exactly just the title here of 1 trillion. Now, that is obviously a huge jump to where we are at the moment. But it just goes to show that, yes, the potentiality of digital collectibles / NFTs has a huge market and potential, which we are literally still at that tip of the iceberg in terms of adoption, or let's say global adoption, or even yet understanding. I mean, honestly, how many of you out there, and I know some of you, of course, watching this channel, there's ranged in terms of various degrees of knowledge. But if someone really said, what's an NFT? How fast can you answer that? And how are you able to answer the different degrees and depths of a non-fungible token? Of course, in its essence, we can explain that. But again, I guess the point being is that NFTs, for that global mass understanding, is still very little. And that's a good sign, that I think, meaning that we're here today. And hopefully, as the years progress, our industry and where we are right now will obviously evolve and change, and we'll be ahead of that game, should we say. All right, moving on. So that's the collectibles market, reaching 1 trillion by 2032. Okay, so let's look at this other line here, which is quite interesting. So it says Apple or Meta may determine the future of the metaverse. And I'll just read some of these takeaways. Smartphones are yesterday's news and may think the metaverse is the future. Meta and Apple are both big players in the future of the mixed and virtual reality, correct and true, and both are set to take different approaches, one privacy-focused, the other aiming for interoperability with some data collection on the side. So again, just looking at this, and it says down here in little writing, it's a battle of the philosophies. Now, here's my take on this particular statement. So Apple or Meta, obviously the two biggest players regarding hardware and apps. And of course, yes, they probably will determine to a degree, at least I would say, the mass adoption of the so-called metaverse. Now, I'd probably go a little bit deeper and say, okay, what is really the metaverse? And are we talking about Web3 and blockchain, and more importantly, decentralization? So there'll be, I would presume, a lot of those, say, Web3 decentralization maxes who will probably completely disagree with this, because once Apple and Meta actually determine the metaverse, it's obviously a very centralized world that will be living in, and it's not really where the understanding, or at least the essence and culture, or should I say, of where crypto was versus NFTs. Now, obviously, there's already a little bit of gray area, for example, with Opensea, where there were once sanctions came in, they had to abide by the sanctions against the Russia-Ukraine, and so I think they paused any IPs coming from Russia, and that already means there's a certain centralization to that versus the whole decentralization of crypto. So anyway, this is just again looking at this at that title. I think there's a lot of it's a lot of big words there, and I think we'll just have to see where this leads. But I do believe to a degree this statement is correct in the sense that they will be fashioning the mode and the apparatus in which we, the public, actually access the metaverse or use the metaverse on a day-to-day basis. Anyway, that's that. And again, I'll put all these links in the description below. And of course, if there's any comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this, obviously good or bad. And again, this is a very big topic, so I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Okay, so moving on. Let's get into our top 10. All right, so doing a quick scan of the top 10 on Opensea. And interesting, Rakidos. Okay, something new, and it's Solana. All right, so Solana has hit number 1 on Opensea today. Okay, today. All right, and then we've got Nina's Super Cool World. Very interesting, and I'm going to break this down very quickly. All of these guys, especially the new ones that I'm not familiar with. But Nina's Super Cool World, very well. I admire these guys. I mean, they're staying up there. They're in that top 10, and so obviously there is movement and there's need and want. So people are buying into that. Again, we'll check them out very quickly. Of course, CryptoPunks, the OG. Having said this, and this is the great thing about NFTs and looking at the daily top 10 is that it does change, and sometimes CryptoPunks isn't in the top 10. Interestingly enough, it does happen. As much as one would question that, since they are the OG of the NFT verse. So anyway, now we've got Rare Pepe YC. Very interesting. I would like to check these guys out. Haven't seen them before. Okay, the potatoes. Now they've certainly been there. They've been there for a while, and again, good on them. I admire anyone who could, first of all, do an NFT PFP collection and get it onto Opensea is already admirable in my books. Being on the top 10 is another level, and sustaining takes it to that other level. So anyway, so good on these guys. The Legend of Grezzo, okay, we'll check them out. That's a new one for me, quite interesting. So they're up there in terms of what was bought, but there's no 24-hour trading volume or 7 days. So a bit dubious or curious to what these guys are doing. All right, other deed for the other side. We all know that's obviously the other side, the Bored Ape Yacht Club Metaverse, which of course includes CryptoPunks, and of course the Ape coin, Ape token, which is all under Yuga Labs. All right, the Gotta Mint Pass. Yes, we've seen these guys before. They're at number 8. Lady Ape Club. We've seen these guys before, number 9, and of course ENS, the Ethereum name service, at number 10. And of course we've seen these guys before in the top 10. And for those who don't know, the Ethereum name service is basically a Web3 domain name that you can purchase, and that obviously that once you've got it, you can attach your wallet to it. It's basically people can send you crypto. So instead of, say, giving them a wallet address, you can literally give them your ENS Ethereum name service. So for example, again, just an example, you could say the sky is blue .eth. Now, if you own that and someone sends you Bitcoin, you can receive it and it'll connect. Okay, they don't need to write your whole code; they'll just send it to the sky's blue ETH. That is .eth. The reason why I was hesitating, because there's another provider that's Unstoppable Domains, and what they do is they're on the Polygon chain, right? So, and once you buy on Unstoppable, it's actually yours for life, which is why I think that's a far better proposal and service. Whereas in ENS, you do have to update that yearly or every 2 years, depending on what you paid for at the beginning. So anyway, but with Unstoppable Domains, once you get it, it's yours for life, and they've got .crypto.nft. So again, you could have the sky's blue.nft. So I should actually check that, since I keep saying that. But anyway, all right, moving on. So that's the top 10. Now let's look at them very quickly, and I'll only spend time the ones I haven't really seen, and let's go for a better view so we can see them without my face there. So okay, we've got Rakudos. Okay, so they've got 10,000. Okay, which is round about, I would say now, the standard, about 2,200 owners, and with a volume of 53,000 ETH. Right, with their floor price already, let's call that Solana, 53,000 Sol. Excuse me for I said ETH before, and the floor price at around 9 Sol. Now let's look at where Sol is at the moment, which gives us, well, okay, so $40. All right, so with $40 there, we're times 9. Okay, there it is. You've got around about that price. So not bad for a floor price at all. Not bad for a floor price at all. And let's look at some of these guys here. We can see the cartoons. So obviously it's like a raccoon, I would say, which is why it's Rakudos. Okay, so raccoon. Okay, not bad. I mean, personally speaking, and I'll put my face back here. It's not nothing new. It's not nothing exciting. I guess it's cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's all I could say. Again, nothing. I don't mean it's bad, but I also don't mean go out and buy it. You obviously have to think of it at 9 Sol as a floor price, and of course some of these other ones. Obviously, it's getting higher and higher. With here, look at this 29 Sol. Well, this I don't believe that 1.1 million Sol. I don't see how that could possibly be, but anyway, let's say with as even at the floor price of 9 Sol, it's something you definitely think about, right? So anyway, let's move on. Let's move on from Rakudos. But there they are. They're number 1. All right. So then we've got Nina's Super Cool World. And again, kudos to these guys doing pretty damn well. I mean, they're there. Now, floor price at 1.19 ETH, right? With best offer at 0.96. But okay, so they're sitting around, what, 16... Well, now probably 1700 US dollars as a floor price. So not bad. But again, the key here for me is that they're in the top 10 and they've been consistently in the top 10. So good on them, meaning there is some kind of volume. Their marketing is obviously working. And whatever they're offering for their buyers and collectors is cool. And there's a lot of opportunity. And again, you can look into these guys. Obviously, just click on Opensea and you can go straight to it. All right, moving on. CryptoPunks, I won't stay too long here. We all know who they are. Well, for those who don't, you should, especially if you're on this channel in terms of NFTs. I mean, this is actually when I do talk to people, and it is something, let's just kind of focus on this a little bit. When I do talk to people about NFTs for the first time, I will ask them, have you heard of CryptoPunks? And that is really my kind of testing ground to see where they are in terms of their understanding. And, there are people who've not heard of CryptoPunks. Now, I'm sure for those watching this channel, and I'm sure most of you probably heard and very familiar with them, but there are people out there that have not heard of CryptoPunks. So that's then I will, of course, then thus explain, who they are, and them being the OG of this whole NFT phase and paradigm shift. So anyway, so just that's a little side note. Let's get back into it. So CryptoPunks, we know who they are. Okay, let's keep moving on. So Rare Pepe YC, interesting. Now, obviously, that's for Yacht Club. I can see now they're trying to, obviously, this is some kind of satire on the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Okay, that's why it's YC Yacht Club, but of course the Rare Pepe, but they've got a Pepe, and we can obviously see the characters now. Now, is this something that I would look into? I mean, 0.29 reasonable floor price. I'd have to, for me to go into this, I'd probably have to look a little bit more into their website, Discord, and social media, and really, what are they trying to do? Now, we know Pepe is a massive meme, and of course, Bored Ape Yacht Club. So, look, I wouldn't say this is a rug pull. I mean, again, I'd look into it a little bit more. Obviously, the characters are interesting. If the price is reasonable, I would potentially consider it coming in with these guys. But again, it looks, I think, with them trying to take off Bored Ape Yacht Club, just might at this point stay away. But look, there's already 2,400 owners. 10,000 items, and they're doing pretty well. Total volume of 625 ETH, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay, the potatoes, moving on. So yes, we've looked at these guys before. The potatoes, collection of 9,900 utility-enabled PFPs, okay, and it's of course the entry ticket into the great Memland, if I'm not mistaken. Memland ecosystem. Okay, so anyway, these are them at 1.4. Again, look into them. Again, I'm not saying, by the way, just saying to everybody here, any of these things, I'm not promoting them or trying to push them, or I haven't been paid to talk about these guys. I'm literally just going from the top 10 and checking it all out, and here as entertainment to explain and express my personal thoughts and opinions about these projects. Okay, moving on. All right, so the Legend of Grezzo. The Legend, first time I've seen this, so I'm quite curious. They've only got a website, very interesting. No Twitter and Discord, at least not on Opensea, and I'm sure if they actually had one, they'd put it here, or they should if they haven't yet. It's a DAO-governed Web3 freelancer platform of ETH, revenue sharing, etc., payment staking. Okay, so obviously they haven't revealed yet their NFTs. Interesting. It looks got kind of this Legend of Zelda kind of feel, I would say. And of course that kind of 24-bit pixel kind of feeling. But of course here with animation rather than a static image. So I'd love to see what these guys are actually going to come out with. And of course any utilities that this might bring if I owned one of these. So it says here the first 666 legends are free. Now, interesting here. So these are obviously already being resold, mint on the official website. And there's only 401 items. So that's kind of, if it was free, and obviously you'd be paying for the gas. So it's obviously there's still a cost, depending on when you did it. But free. Okay, well, again, something to look at. There's some volume. I have no idea where this will go, but again, I would look deeply into this before purchasing this and see who the team are, if they do show themselves, and of course the project roadmap and utility. All right, moving on. Other deed for the other side, we've already explained this. This is obviously massive. And the big spike that we see here really is because of this other side, okay, when it went on for sale. So I won't talk too much about these guys. Again, this is Yuga Labs, and they're probably the biggest metaverse out there, and if not will be, because obviously they're just still selling the land now with a floor price of 2.2. That's, we've seen some of these other ones quite reasonable, particularly if you're owning a piece of this land, which we know only based from Sandbox and, of course, Decentraland, that these will get more expensive in the future. And we did read that article that by 2032, you're going to, the metaverse will be, the NFTs and collectibles will be worth around $1 trillion. Okay, so anyway, it's all about investment and investing in the future, I would say. I mean, who would have known 10 years ago that Bitcoin is where it is or has been in terms of its all-time high? Nobody would have projected or seen that. So again, we don't know where this might go. They could flop, they could close, they could go bankrupt like a lot of these other things right now, as we know what's going on in the crypto world with Celsius and Voyager and all these other kind of companies really struggling more in the DeFi side of things. But anyway, I won't get into that topic. Let's stay on topic and moving on. Okay, so the God of Mint Pass. Okay, so there's 1,000 of these items, 731. So obviously there's still available of these passes. I would look into what this actually provides me, and I'm sure it's very clear what it states. They seem to have all their social media, but it is 11 ETH, so that's immediately already what, $12,000 boom. So to purchase something like that, it better give me something pretty bloody good. That's all I can say. And again, I would look into this deeper if I was going to purchase this pass. Again, it's in the top 10, so good on them. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so here it is. Let's look at the next one. Lady A Club. We've seen these guys before. Obviously, again, a homage or inspired, influenced by Bored Ape Yacht Club, probably the females of their partners. 700 items only, so very different to the Bored Ape Yacht Club themselves, with about 324 owners. Now, floor price at 0.74, not bad. Best offer 0.4, meaning no one's really bringing this floor price up. It's staying below. Well, it's here at 0.74 and doesn't look like anyone's really wanting to buy these at a higher price, although here we've got, 1 ETH, 1.7. You never know where these guys go. I mean, it could take one thing and suddenly, boom, they're massive. I'm curious to why only 700, but again, I guess here it could look a lot of more details in there, and it's about finding partners, as I can see here, for the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So, all right, let's move on. Finally, Ethereum name service, as we have already explained before, so I won't talk too much about them. Again, you can go to Opensea, check out this, and type in ENS, and they'll probably pop up immediately. But a great service, a great Web3 application, and I think something for you guys. You should definitely look into it, something to check out. Okay, let's get into the randomizer. All right, so what we're going to do here, for those who don't know yet, and by the way, if you haven't yet, please smash up the likes, hit subscribe if you can and want. Thank you. So here we go. Let's do 400, try to give a little bit more of a parameter here, and let's generate. All right, we're going to generate. So it's doing it live. Okay, wow, number 28. All right, number 28. Just so you know, I'm not picking this or paid to do this. I'm just literally doing it. So number 28. Wow, this is the first time. All right, Azuki. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna just, as that's kind of loading, I'm just gonna shut these off just so that we get there. Okay, let's shut this off. Boom, 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 and boom, boom. Okay, so we're here at Azuki. All right, now, look, these guys are big, and this is the first time the randomizer has gone under 100, well, the top 100, so quite interesting, but great. Now I can check these guys out. These are one of the big ones, I would say, or has been one of the big ones. Now, again, they're number 28, so not top 10, but still top 30, top 50, top 100, whatever you want to call an OpenSea, still on the front page, right? So you don't need to, move forward. So that is already respectable. And of course, I have to say, let's get into Azuki. Let's look at him. Let's go back and look. There's 10,000. Let's do all the basic things here. There's 10,000, 5,000 owners. Okay, volume, massive volume, 256,000 ETH. Massive floor price of 8.9 ETH. So that's already what, 9? Okay, let's say $9,000 for one. Okay, and there's a best offer of 8.05. Let's look at these guys, in terms of just the imagery and the feeling, yes, what I can say with Azuki is they did, and let's go to their website. It looks pretty cool. They did start this kind of look and feel trend, right? This whole kind of Japanese anime kind of thing, so give it to them. Now if you see something similar, and mind you, at one point there was tens or dozens of lookalikes trying to copy the Azuki style, even to the logo, the color combo, really trying to take advantage of this whole Azuki trend, right? And I'm just watching their thing. Pretty cool video. I don't know. He must be some kind of famous star here. Pretty cool. Definitely like a cyberpunk, futuristic kind of, cyberpunk, I would even say. It's got that kind of Ghost in a Shell kind of movie feeling. Very interesting. I'm not going to watch this all right now, but anyway, so they are there, and let's look at how many people. So they've got 109 members. Okay, that's 109,000 members on their Discord. Very, very respectable. They've got on their Instagram, 81,000 followers. They're following 3. Yeah, sometimes I'm not too happy when they only follow little people. It means they don't really care about anybody else. But anyway, that's that's the brand, and good on them. And they're doing, again, they're one of the big ones, and they set a particular trend, which is always quite good and interesting. And you got to give them where credit's due, right? So that they've actually managed to set a particular trend in the NFT world. Again, a very particular look. Once you look at it, you go, wow, okay, boom, that's Azuki. Of course, I don't want to get into it too much here, but there was also a lot of negative news. I wouldn't say, well, one could say FUD, but also with the founder and some kind of not so good press. Let's just say that. But again, as they say in the news, good and bad press. As long as it's press, it means you're getting in there, you're out there in front of people, right? People are hearing about your brand. But again, credit where credit is due. These guys set a particular style and trend. Here they are. They've got 309,000 followers on Twitter. Okay, good to see. They've got at least 494. They're following 494 people. Okay, so there's Azuki, and they've really set this kind of Japanese style kind of feeling. Oh, I can see. Okay, they've got their own kind of online. Yeah, great. Okay, so they've got some mega fans. Let's just say that, and that's a good sign. Obviously, it gives a lot of potentiality for the future of this particular NFT series. And of course, it would only make sense if they went into, say, animation or actual comics and this and that and this. And of course, holding one of these gives you some kind of, let's say, prestige or bonus or anything like that, that once I have one of these, what does it actually give me? And I'm sure they'll be using, having some kind of utility, let's say, with their NFTs. But anyway, so that's Azuki. That's Azuki. And again, I wasn't paid to do that. I don't own a Azuki. I wouldn't mind owning one, and I don't. But anyway, that's them. And again, this website looks really pretty cool, I have to say. And I would... yeah, I'd probably come back to this and have a look and check it out. Now, of course, if you wanted to look, it's there on Opensea. I won't put in any links, but it's there. All right, good. Okay, well, let's get into, that is where we end this particular video. And again, thank you very much. Smash up the like, and I look forward to seeing you next time here on Big Ones NFT. Good night.